Well, you should have been here a minute ago to see that. That turned into what I call a fiasco. It was horrible. The cam chain dropped down and came off the cam sprocket in the bottom end of the engine. You want to see the amount of messing and cursing and swearing trying to get that chain back onto that without having to take off this cover. Anyway, I managed to do it. So what you're looking at now is I've fitted the cam just for now. It's in top dead center, and I'm going to tighten in this bolt here for the tensioner, and I'm going to tighten down this, and I'll be with you in a second then to move on to the next piece. Sorry he's missed out on a fair bit of work there, guys, but have a head on now. I realised that before I put the cap on I had no gasket for it, and I had to put a bit of gasket maker on it instead. So cam in, head ready to be set, but I can't set it until I've torqued down the top, and I realised that I haven't done that. I don't have a torque wrench, so I'm just going to take my chances and hope that I'm right like the last time. So you can watch that if you want. Just set you here into your usual little spot here on my toolbox, and see if we can do that together. If my phone decides it's going to stay there and not fall. Yeah, we'll try that. Hold on, I'll try and zoom you in as usual. There, that's kind of a good view there, isn't it? I know it's going to happen. I'm going to move the bench and the phone's going to fall, so I'm going to have to prop it up with something here. Stick the toolbox. Yeah, jam is in between the toolbox here. That'll work, I'd say. Now I have my 4 brass kind of washers. I don't know if you can see them there, or you can see them now. 4 brass kind of washers that goes on the top. So, round side up. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And I have 4 brand new head bolts, or nuts, whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to put them on. And I'm going to be very careful about the way that I do this. Have to be very careful about the way that I do this. What size have we got? Maybe what is that? It's not a 14, is it? 14? No, probably a 13, something like that. I do believe that it's a 13. So we're going to try that. Right, so that's ready to go. That's ready to go. 1, 2, 3 half turns. Go to this side. This one isn't ready. Right, 1, 2, 3 half turns. I'm going to do it on this now. Screw her down. One, 2, 3 half turns. I'm going to do it with this one when it starts to bite. 1, 2, 3 half turns. And you just sew on like that until you get it tight. I'll start here again. 1, 2, 3 half turns. I'm starting to get tight now. 1, 2, 3 half turns, and I go to this one. 1, 2, 3 half turns. Go to this one. 1, 2, 3 half turns. Now they're not fully tight now, but I'm just looking to see, am I getting it sealed down there, and it looks like it is. I've got nothing to hold this engine to stop it from spinning around the place, so it's awkward. 1, I give them 1 each. 1, 1. They're getting quite tight now. 1. Once you start hearing that, you know you're getting close. Yeah. Right, no, I reckon we could chance it at that and not push it too far. If we need to tighten them more, we can. So I think that's the best option, don't you? Just in case. Now I need a little 10 spanner for that bolt that everybody always forgets about. Oops, sorry, knocked it over there. Maybe I can bring these over here. This is a 10 anyway. And this is the little bolt that everybody always forgets about here. And I realised when I was putting the cam together the night that the bolts that were holding on the cam cog were very loose too. Yeah, I'll have to tighten them, don't let me forget. So that's good. Making progress, guys. I think we're going to set the timing now next. Give me a moment because I have to go away. I don't have any decent petrol, so I have to go and get some clean petrol in case I want to try this out tonight. Bear with me. Well, we're at the petrol station now, getting a wee tenner petrol in case I manage to get this thing running tonight by some weird miracle. Although in honesty, I don't honestly think tonight it's going to be running because it's 10 o'clock now and there's still quite a bit to do. I'd have to get my timing set, I'd have to get the spark timing set, and I'd have to get the engine back into the bike. And getting an engine into the bike all on your own isn't just the easiest feat. So that can take a bit of time, and by that time it'll be probably 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm not going to try and start bikes at 1 o'clock in the morning. If I get that far, I may just give it a kick over to see if it turns over, kicks off just. But I won't let it run for very long. So, right. This video is getting to be a little bit on the long side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up into 2 videos, and we'll work it from that. So the next part you're going to see is starting to set the timing and all that, and that's going to be the video number 2. So see you in video number 2, guys. Okay, catch you later. Okay, so when I put my cam in, I put it in with the lobes facing down, which is what it should be on for a compression stroke. and your flywheel should be at your top dead center. And you can see at the moment, see that F? So it's on fire. So I need to get this to top dead center. Excuse me, bit of wind. Now I've got to get the right piece for myself and the right size of socket, which is probably only like a 12 or a 13 or something. What have I got here? I've got an 11. Got an 11. No, 11's not going to be any good to me. Let's see. What's this one? Haha, 12. Right, we'll try a 12 first, because it says, you can see on the bolt there, it says 12. So I'm assuming that this is a 12. I've had both sockets on it before and they were getting stuck and all sorts. So let's just take our chances. And what do you know? It fits. It's not too often the bolt actually tells you what size it is. I don't need the socket to do this just yet. So we have to make sure that when we do this, we're on top dead center. And when you come to top dead center, well, how do you know you're on top dead center? You'll see that it doesn't want to stay on the T. I'm holding it on the T here. T, see that? And when I let go, it wants to pull back. And that's because you're at top dead center. So that's a little bit of a tip there. And you have to line up. Oh, excuse me, I'm working with 3 hands here. I'm about the only man in the world with 3 hands. You'll see a line here, and you'll see a line on the casing just inside the threads. See that? And that line has to line up with those threads, and that is top dead center. With T, not F, okay? T. So that's your top dead center. Now, there's another guy who I follow on YouTube who has done all this before, and I'm not going to go into great detail with it. And his name is David Weeks. So you can look up David Weeks, and he has done video on the same, basically the same engine, bar the fact that mine's 12 volt engine and his is a 6. Big shout out to you there, David. You've really helped me as well with a bit of advice there a while back. It's appreciated. And I'm sure you're following this as well. So if you want to see about setting your timing and all that stuff, you can look up David's videos as well. But I'm going to cover it here, even though I'm not 100% sure what I'm at. But I'm pretty sure I got it right the last time. It's just that the keeper came out of the valve, and that's what the issue was. Wasn't that I had the timing out wrong. And this time I'm going to actually set my clearances, because the last time I jumped ahead, I was that excited and I didn't set my clearances, and that may have been a big part of the problem. So there you go. Don't jump ahead of yourselves. Right, I'm just going to get this chain ready to go, and we're going to try. I tightened this chain a while back, so I may need to loosen it up to do this job. So just give me a moment. I'll show you how to do it first. There's under this rubber cover is a little nut. There's a nut, and if I can just manage to take that off with something, I'll show you. It's just a little dust cover, a rubber yoke. Right, you can see that there's a nut here and there's a bolt in it, and the way that it works is you loosen the bolt, you take the bolt out and you loosen this nut, and then you get something straight, like a, let's say this Allen key for instance, if it fits in the hole, and you push down and then you tighten this to loosen, and you basically need to put it wherever the tension of your chain is right, and then tighten down the nut. So that's how you do it. It took me a while to figure that out, because this engine is slightly different than David's and them people's. They can adjust it by screw, whereas this one doesn't work by screw. It works by you pushing down on something. So just to let you know that that's the way it works. Right. I have that opened up, but you need something thin enough to go down into it, and I can't remember. It must have been a thinner one of these that I used the last time, or a little screwdriver or something. That's perfect for it there. So now we need to get the right spanner. What size of a spanner do I need? It's probably too big. 17 probably. Yeah, it's probably a 14, something like that. It's not a 13, so it has to be a 14 really. There's a 14. Let's try that 14. Yeah, we're right. Pretty sure. Yeah, I've loosened it up. So now that I have that loosened up, I should be able to move this, which I am. You see what I mean? So I can adjust my chain tension that way, and then when I have the tension right, I just tighten that up again and put the bolt back on. Right. Is that any better for light? Does that work better or worse? I don't know. So I'm going to try and get my chain on now that it's a bit looser. It might actually be looser, or it might actually be tighter. I'm not sure which. This is going to take 2 hands, so I'm going to explain what you have to do, and I'm just going to do it. And unfortunately I can't show you me doing it because nothing to hold my phone. So you've got this little notch here, you see it, and it has to meet this V, and it has to be bang on straight, and that line, you imagine there's an imaginary line, it has to come the whole way down here, and it has to match up with that notch in the hole and with your T mark, which is back here, not the F mark. So your T, that'd be your T there. So when your T's there and it lines up like that, everything should be in line and the chain should be on exactly that. So I'm going to do that and then I'll come back to you.